Boom, boom. Hello. So how to get clients for my accounting business. Now, you know, client acquisition or getting clients matters because no clients equals no business. A lot of people, when they're starting out, their focus is so divided amongst a bunch of things that don't really move the needle forward. And it makes us feel like we're being productive, but we look back after 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and realize we haven't made that much progress. Like when I was first getting started, that was happening to me every single day. I was designing my logo for my bookkeeping business. I was making a brochure that described my virtual accounting services. And really, what I learned was client flow is the engine that fuels revenue and growth. And consistent acquisition equals predictability and scalability. So, the first thing with how to get accounting clients is you have to know who your ideal client is. So identifying who is your niche, like now a niche can be like industry, company size, revenue range, personality of the business owner. It could be language patterns they use. It could be political, like their political leanings. A lot of different ways you can niche down, but just really understanding like what does a potential client or potential target look like, and then having your antennas raised that when you do come in contact with a person, you don't blow opportunities. Okay. Now it's all about understanding like what are the biggest pain points that your potential clients are going to be facing, and just making sure that you're ready to speak to those as much and as quickly as possible. Now, the one cool thing about this is like when you do get an understanding of like who works best with you, you can tailor your messaging or the content that you're making towards that group of people so you're consistently getting the right people to respond and get in your face. So, in order to do this, you should start building an online presence. Now, a strong online presence, basically what it does is it communicates who you are, how you help, and why it's important for someone to move forward with you quickly. Now, for me, I recommend you doing that with a LinkedIn profile and maybe a Facebook profile. Now, I know a lot of people watching, like they've been told to build a website, and if you are going to build a website, just make one that's very, very quick and easy. Do not take 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year to do it. You can actually get your website verbiage from ChatGPT. Like I would literally just have it just create the website for you in 25 minutes. Don't take more than 2 days to make your own website, okay? Just I know what you're thinking. It's like, man, but this is the most important thing. No, it's not the most important thing. Most people are not going to actually see your website, right? So really the website is more about being able to convince yourself that you are credible. It's not about anyone else except for yourself. Another thing that you can do is have a Google business profile that shows up in local searches. Now, this can be effective. It's one of those things where it's like when it works, it works. When it doesn't, it doesn't. So there'll be like, we'll say out of the year, maybe like 9 months out of the year where you're not going to get any traffic or any interest from that Google My Business profile. However, in the 3 months where you do get traction, it makes up for it, right? 'Cause it's a free thing and it doesn't really take that much time to set it up. But it can be the difference when you make an extra, like, let's say your minimum price point is like 500 bucks a month. It could be the difference between you making like, $0 or an extra 1,500 per month, which what is that, about 17 grand a year? So it can be worth it. I would also be leveraging referrals. So once you have your online presence set up, then I would be making sure that I'm trying to get referral partnerships. Now, you can get referral partnerships from your existing clients. You can get partnerships from other people in the accounting field. You can also go and get partnerships and referrals from people outside of the accounting field. Now, you want to have a good mix of all three. Now, if you don't have any clients, of course, it's going to be really hard to get your clients to give you a referral. You don't have any clients, right? So just skip that until you have clients. But once you do have clients, every single time that you get a new client, I'm asking for a referral. Every time you complete a cleanup, I'm asking for a referral. Every time you do a month, I'm asking for a referral. Every time you send an email, I'm having a link inside the email that says like, hey, I'm open to referrals. I'm never too busy to take on a referral, right? So I want to make sure that my clients know that, hey, if someone needs this help, send them my way all the time. That's all I'm always thinking about. Right? Because one principle that I live by and operate by is that your business should be easier and easier to run every single month and every single year. That's one thing that I think a lot of beginners don't really think because everyone's so caught up in like I have to get my first client, I have to like they're in survival mode. But really what you need to be thinking is like, hey, as long as you get your first client and you like doing the client work, There's no reason why you don't hit, 100K, 200K a year in the span of like 3 to 4 years. There's no reason why you don't. Think about it. If you got one client, let's just say one client a month that pays you $500 a month, for 12 months, it's already 6,000. For 24 months, which is 2 years, that should be, what is that? $12,000 a month. You add another year, what is that? 18,000. You add another year. That is what, $24,000 per month that you're making. So if that's the case, then you need to be thinking about that from the start, right? Because like if you're always thinking, oh, just I need to go get this client, I need to go get this client. Like if this thing doesn't work, then I'm putting my foot out the door. I don't know if I could do this. You're never really going to take the measurements and the precautions that it takes to actually go and build this for long term. So I'll give you an example. So for me, why am I even making this YouTube channel? So this is like my second YouTube channel. The first YouTube channel is more for like bookkeepers and people who are just getting started. This is more for people that have like maybe an accounting background, which is why we have this channel. Now, do you do I necessarily need to make these videos? No. But I know that in the next 1 to 2 years, this YouTube channel might be very well produced to me an extra 100 to 150K per year, right? So I'm not necessarily thinking about, oh my gosh, it's not giving me 10, this channel's not giving me 10K per month right now. It's a waste of time. It's not good. No, I know where it's going to go because of my other channel, like what it's done for my income and what it's done for me. So I don't mind building this thing. And if it takes like a year or 2 years to do it, or to get it to that six-figure zone, I don't necessarily think it really matters because I know that if I stay in it for 5 years, I'm gonna make an extra six figures per year from this, right? So it's like you have to really think about the future in mind, and that gives you the patience and the perseverance to be able to do stuff. Right? Now, next thing. So that's kind of moves to the next thing. So content marketing to attract leads. So one thing that a lot of people struggle with is like what to post, right? So your goal is to look at all the business owners in your networks and get to understand like what are their pains, their problems, and their concerns. If you can understand them from, oops, sorry, if you can understand them from that level, making content's very easy, right? For me, for example, like even with these videos, right? I know that you're watching this, maybe you want to learn how to get clients. So my job is to go into my inventory of information and data, and I pull out, some steps that can be helpful. And I can do this in written form, I can do this in video, I can do this in audio, right? But I'm doing this over and over and over and over again. And I'm answering common questions. So like, let's say that you find like a Facebook group that's about QuickBooks. Look at all the questions either clients are asking or even other accountants and bookkeepers are asking, and make your content answering at least one question per week or per day, right? Now, what you can do to save time on that is you could just take down like five major questions and then write your responses to all those questions and then just post it. Now, you could have ChatGPT expand on the response that you made, so you just ideate the original intro and have it basically create the fluff, etc. And now you have a very long form of content. And the more people see this, the more they kind of understand your voice and who you are as a person, and they understand that you know what you're talking about. You start becoming a trusted authority. And that's when you can really start, scaling on top of the referrals, right? Because now when someone sends someone to, let's say, to your LinkedIn profile, the referral lead can go and look at all the content that you have and be like, oh wow, this person really knows what they're talking about. And this can be again written stuff. You don't have to be on videos like me, right? Next thing you can do. So if you're inside of a mentorship program, I'd probably teach you something different. But if you're doing this on your own, you're probably going to want to do some networking and local outreach. Okay. Now, the reason why like networking does work, it's not the most ideal, but like if you don't have anything else, like if I don't have a car, I'm taking the bus. You know what I mean? It's not the most ideal. It's going to take me a lot longer to get to where I want to go, but I gotta do something. You know what I mean? That's kind of how I think about that. Now, some things you can do is you could do networking in the local area, like attending local business events or chamber of commerce meetings. You can also offer free workshops or webinars. The free workshop and the free webinar methodology, that works so well, especially if you can find a really good networking center where business owners that are relatively successful come and congregate and actually meet. You can get a lot of clients that way. We actually got, I think we got like 3 clients when we first started by just doing like one presentation at like the Small Business Development Center. They call it SBDC. You have to like go and understand who it is and like talk to the people and kind of see if they'll let you do it. But it can be really good. And it just allows you to start building real relationships inside the community. Because even if a person does not need your services right now, they still know people that could use your service. So it just makes it easier for you to get those referrals and for you to get people to send people to you over time. Next thing is paid advertising. So you can run Google ads to targeting businesses that need accounting help. You can test Facebook ads. I probably would not do LinkedIn ads unless you know what you're doing, because LinkedIn ads can be a little bit more expensive. Facebook ads can be a little bit more expensive, but just because like you have a very specific budget that Facebook's trying to send. The easiest version out of those three that we talked about is probably the Google search ads, because you're finding people that are searching for a specific term, right? And you can make the term so specific that it's basically like the person's like, I want to buy this service, kind of search intent. And it just makes things so much easier, both short term and long term. Now, advertising, to be honest with you, like you don't need to run ads till you're at about 10 grand per month. If you do run advertising, I would definitely kind of work with someone that has run advertising in the past. They can kind of tell you like, hey, these are best practices. This one you should turn an ad on. This one you should turn an ad off. So you can make sure you're saving as much money as possible, because it's very easy to spew money. Very easy to spew money. Very, very, very easy to spew money at this point. You know what I mean? Uh, So that's the biggest thing. That's the danger of that. Like I lost like $1,500 like my first like month. I'm like, it's like a lot. Do you whenever you spend money for your business and doesn't return, do you really lose money, or do you more learn about like how something actually works? I think that's the big thing. Like the difference between someone who's successful in business and someone who's like, kind of not successful is like how you view not hitting a direct return right away. That's like business owners are investors. You're constantly investing. Like there was this guy yesterday. He was thinking about doing a mentorship program. He's like, "Well, I kind of want to, like get some clients first, because I don't know if I want to like, invest money into this thing. And then like, what if it doesn't work? Or I was like, bro, you're not gonna be successful, dude. Like until you can get over that. Because here's the thing. Every time that you talk to a business owner, business owners are investors. Business owners are constantly having to look at a person, opportunity, or vehicle or piece of equipment and say, is this person going to give me a return, or is it going to be worth my time? And the only way you can see that is you can tell by a person, are they serious about this stuff? Are they all in? Right? Because here's the thing. If you're kind of like one foot in the door, one foot out the door, people can tell that. And they don't want to do business with you because they know, okay, so like if I work with them, they could just quit this business like 3 months from now, a week from now, a year from now, right? So by you actually having invested in yourself, they can see in your eyes that you need this to work and that you're focused on making this thing work. And now they're like, okay, cool, cool. I can trust this person. This person's not just going to disappear. This person's not just like fly by night kind of person. You're actually solid and consistent. So it's like you got to be thinking about this stuff at all times and like just really just take it seriously. That's the thing. After that, you just master your sales process. So every time someone messages you, I get this question all the time, like, hey, if someone messaged me on like LinkedIn, should I like wait for like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? I'm like, you're not trying to date the person, so it's not about like not coming across like you're desperate or something. It's just like no, no. Customer service, faster response time equals more trust. Okay. And then when you start selling, focus on listening to what they're saying more than you are about pushing your agenda onto them. Okay. Also, that clearly explain the value and the results you provide. So, how do you explain the value and the results you provide? It's by listening to what they find valuable. I was talking to this person the other day, and they just started like rattling, like they're like, "Hey, I really want to kind of like do blah 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 blah, and like, I think I could really help you, blah 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 blah." And I was like, "Bro," I was like, "Well, let me ask this weird question. So you just said that, but like, do you know what would help me at this moment in time?" She goes, "No." I said, "Why don't you know?" She goes, "I don't know." I said, "Well, you never really asked me any question about what am I looking for? What do I want help with?" So everything she was saying was basically just off-topic things that were irrelevant to me because I didn't care about those things. That's what I'm saying, blah 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 blah. So that's literally in my mind. All I remember from that conversation was blah 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 blah. So you have to learn this whole thing is just it's a game of listening. Everyone thinks that sales is a game of like pushing what you want. Like I have to say the right things. No, no, no. It's not about what you say. It's about what you hear and how you respond. Hear, respond. Okay, because that is all sales is. That's all that sales is all the time, over and over and over again. Cool, 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 cool. Awesome. So next steps, if you ever want some help growing your business and like you're just like, hey, I'm trying to make this thing work, but it's just not quite going at the speed at which I want, or you just know that if you had more guidance and more hand-holding, you'd be able to reach your goals in a much shorter time period. Regardless of which boat you're in, if you want some help, click the link inside the description above or below this video to book a call with myself. Let's see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program. Okay? I want to help you. I want to make sure you can get to that next level. I'm really excited for your success, and I will talk to you soon. So just to recap, boom, boom, just to recap, know your ideal client, strengthen your online and offline presence, use a mix of referral content, networking, and ads, follow up quickly and confidently, and consistency is a real secret to success. Okay? Have a great one. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you. See you later.